How you doing? I'm Shotti NYC, photographer and owner of LR2 Studio, and today we're going to show you how to get visually striking images by incorporating color into your photo shoot. Choosing the right color makes a huge difference when you're trying to have a visually striking image. So I'm gonna share with you how I incorporate color into my portrait sessions. There are certain safe colors that you can always use because they're considered neutral tones. So that's gonna be your black, white, denim blue, beige. Those type of colors will go with warm tones, they'll go with cool tones, and they'll go with neutral tones. So that's a good place to start. When you're deciding which colors to use for a subject, some of the things that you might want to pay attention to are the colors in their wardrobe, the colors that you have as far as backgrounds and props, and the skin color. You want to pay attention to the undertones of the skin. Today we're going for contrast. So Tuck has warm undertones, there's a lot of red in his skin color. So we're gonna go with a blue to kind of contrast that. Today I'm shooting with the FUJIFILM GFX 100S, which is my go-to camera for portraits, along with the 80mm 1.7 lens. So today Tuck is wearing a beautiful rust color shirt and he has some jewelry on. Jewelry's always good with warm tones. It gives something a little bit of a pop. It's good, nice shiny things. It really complements the warmth in his skin tone. When I shoot, I really like to use primes because they're usually faster, so I get to shoot at a wider aperture and not have to worry about not having a lot of light. Also, the prime just really gives a more reproducible shot as far as the scale. So when I'm zooming with my feet, and I can tell by where I'm standing, you know, what the scale of the shot is gonna be, versus if I have a zoom, which there's nothing wrong with zooms, but I might zoom all the way into 55, take a couple steps forward, zoom out to 35, and if I want to go back to find that shot and what scale it was at, I might have some difficulty trying to retract my steps and the focal length that I use for that image. There's just something about portraits with the medium format, large format digital type of feel. You really get all of the details and you're able to have that separation from the background with the creamy bokeh, and all of that is created from the larger sensor. So right away, you can see that I have an Octa, it's a 3-foot Octa setup on a Profoto D2. This is the key light, and we're using this at about 70 to 80 degree angle and not straight on, because this is gonna give us some shape and definition in his face. And then for the backlight, we have a B10X Plus, giving a little bit of light to the background, giving it an overall nice contrast and depth in the image, kind of pulling him away from the background a little bit, makes it a more well-rounded portrait. We had a 2-light setup, which you could make a 1-light setup. We happen to have a light behind our subject, kind of hitting the background, but if you had 1 light, all you would need to do is just move the subject closer to the background, move the light closer to the subject, and then you have a lit background and a lit subject. Awesome. We could also get funky with it and maybe throw a gel on them. These are transparent, so you could shoot through them. You'll put this on front of the light. These are heat resistant. You have to make sure you get the heat resistant ones, especially when you're gonna have it on a light that's continuous, just to make sure it doesn't burn and melt. Since he has a rust shirt on, let's see what happens when we throw orange on the background. So we're gonna put this gel on the background. When you're throwing a gel on the light, you have to be sure to adjust the intensity of the light accordingly, because the gel will soak up some of the light, so you may need to bump your exposure up higher just to get the same exposure in the image. There you go. You want to make sure that you have the background light somewhere where it's not visible in the picture. And right now, his body is covering it, so you can't see it. So with the light being this close and this size, you get that really nice softness from the light, but then you also have depth that are created from the shadows, because the closer a light is to the subject, the more fall off you'll have. So that's what's giving us a nice little shadow on the other side. I can't really stress this enough, but you have to allow yourself the freedom to mess around and try things and experiment for the photo shoot. It's always good to just, you know, improvise, and you find yourself surprising yourself, and then, you know, you fall in love with images that way and you create things that you didn't even know were possible. So when I started the shoot, I wasn't exactly sure what I was gonna do. I picked up some gels, changed the light, and played with different poses, but those are all things that you should do, and they kind of lead to a better outcome in your photo shoot. Wow, your mother would love that picture.
She would.
Too blasphemous. I'm really interested to see what kind of hacks you guys have for your equipment. Let me know in the comments if you like this video and if you want to see more videos with me. If you do, you're in store, because we have a couple of more videos in the studio that are coming very, very soon. So stay tuned to check those out.